Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Fall Officer Training and Greek Leader Summit. We are so happy to have you all back on campus and ready to get started for this semester. By a show of hands, how many of you, this is your first year as an e-board member? Raise those hands high. Welcome. We are so happy to have you here and have you in a leadership position this year, learning all the nuts and bolts of running a student organization or helping with our fraternity and sorority life. How many of you, this is a returning year for you as an e-board member? You've been to an officer training before? All right, so that's the other half of the room. Welcome back. We will definitely be utilizing your expertise in helping to train the newcomers. We have a variety of sessions set up for you at officer training so that whether you are brand new to this, I'm so sorry, I just realized I'm still on Blackburst. Whether or not you're brand new to this or you have some experience as a student leader and working with organizations, we have different tracks set up so that you should be able to still learn and grow as a student leader today. So everybody, when you came in, should have received a schedule. We have everybody together for our opening session. We are recording it. We'll put it on our student development YouTube channel on Monday of next week. Afterwards, you get to sort of pick and choose the different sessions that will help you best learn and grow and develop as a student leader. If there's more than one or two people here from your organization, make sure that you divide and conquer so that you can each get the content that's covered in all the sessions, and then you can connect at the end to kind of share that information and make sure that you are able to maximize your experience here at officer training. For our fraternity and sorority leaders, can I see a show of hands for our fraternity and sorority leaders? We do have, welcome, we do have a special track set up for you. So some of these sessions are carved out specifically for fraternities and sororities. So we do need 2 members of each chapter to go to the Fraternity and Sorority Life 101 session during the session 1 block, and then the Greek Leader Summit session, which covers sessions 3 and 4 together. So during session 2, you can kind of pick and choose a session that is a good fit for you. But for everybody else, definitely check out the descriptions on the back of your schedule. If you are a treasurer, the financial procedures, how to submit a successful funding request, and the fundraising session are all great sessions for you. And then if you're brand new to being a president or vice president, Osprey Hub 101 or Osprey Hub for Beginners is a great session to go to. Creating positive organizational culture is a great session to learn how to manage your organization. And there's lots of other sessions as well. So make sure that you are working it out with your other e-board members to kind of divide and conquer to make the most of your day. So we're going to start by talking about a few new things that are new for Stockton and student development. And one of the first things that I would like to cover is to introduce we have a new interim vice president for student affairs, and that's Dr. Latham. He is not here today, but he is everywhere on campus. So if you were at the Hispanic Heritage Month flag raising earlier today, if you were at the volleyball game last night, he is very visible on campus. And so don't be shocked if he pops into your events and wants to meet you and introduce himself and be a part of student life. He's a very active presence on campus. He's walking around all the time and is really excited to be here. So please help us provide him with a warm welcome when you see him on campus. Not new to Stockton, but Chrissy Easton is our new Assistant Director of Student Development. Warm welcome. She joins us from CARES, but is not new to Stockton and really isn't new to student development either, because during her time as a graduate student, she was one of our graduate coordinators. Speaking of graduate coordinators, we have 2 graduate coordinators this semester, Lillian Nickens and Jules Gonzalez. And our team as a whole is here to support you and help you through everything that you're planning to do over the course of the year. So get to know us, get to know our faces, and we're really excited to have you here.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Matt Greer. I'm the Associate Director for Fraternity and Sorority Life in the Office of Student Development. Some quick updates and things to remember. For you all, you have a student development advisor. This is secondary to your faculty staff advisor. But each one in our office is tasked with being the representative to help your organization. Some of these have switched up since the spring semester, so make sure that you go onto Osprey Hub and check those out. With Chris's new addition to the team, we have respread our organization out. So make sure you check on the front page of Osprey Hub who your new advisor is if you're unaware. That person also shows up on your Osprey Hub roster, so you can also view who that person might be there. Additionally, we have club lockers and office access. If you have any office in the upper campus center, make sure that you fill out the access form. I sent that about a week and a half ago, in order to get your club members access to that office. If you're interested in club lockers, you can also look to accommodate your organization, or if there are issues with your club locker, please let us know, so that we can make sure that those things are taken care of. We did do a little bit of an audit check to see how our lockers were doing. So if they were like permanently unlocked or broken, we did take some notes of those. You might be reached out to if we saw that your locker was not locked or is broken. On top of that, if you have not seen already, the library is under renovation. So that in and of itself is a transitional piece, but it also means that some of our rooms are not how they normally are accessed. So the library is currently being utilized for CD atrium, so do events in CD atrium without it for the next couple of semesters in order to utilize a different space for that. Additional spaces that look a little bit different is Alton Auditorium. You can still utilize that space for a lecture type of piece, but there will be a platform on the stage with a screen that will be there while we transition the library space. And then L104 is another space that is offline for the next couple of semesters. So making sure that if we are reserving space and you need to give up that space, that you're letting your student development advisor know, as well as Mary Kate, so that way we can release that space for others to use. This will be a transitional piece for our space reservation. And then the last piece is you probably got an email about shuttles. So just being cognizant of what that new shuttle schedule looks like, particularly if you're hosting events and looking for students to go to and from Atlantic City. You want to be cognizant of what those shuttle schedules look like, because students might have a need to leave early because of when their shuttle is, or you might need to carpool some of those pieces that they're driving to and from Atlantic City itself. But there are new parking rules too when it comes to parking if you're Atlantic City or Galloway resident and that type of thing.
Oh, I think it's me. Woo, I think it's me. Yes, it is me. Hi everyone, Jeff Wakeman, Director of Student Development. Very excited to see you all back for we have a really packed room. The next few things I'm talking about, recognize student organization requirements. This is not fraternity and sorority life, this is all the clubs and organizations. So if you're a non-fraternity sorority here, you need to have your roster on Osprey Hub all updated. All right, what does updated mean? 10 members, 10 students, 10 current students. Make sure they're logged in, make sure you accept them on the roster. Assign your positions and your e-board members. If you're the president, make sure you touch the little pencil there and you turn yourself into president. Mark your VP, mark your everything else. And the next one is the faculty staff advisor. Every student organization, again, not fraternity sororities, they have off-campus advisors, but I mean the clubs and organizations needs to have a faculty or staff advisor that is in addition to your student development advisor. All right, we are going to start making sure that all these things are in play because they're really important. The last one there, sorry, review your constitution. We may reach out to you and say, hey, your constitution's really old, we need to update it. So just make sure that your most up-to-date constitution is there, uploaded onto your document section and labeled as constitution. This is all due September 30th. What happens if it's October 1st and you don't have it done? You get an email from me that says, get your stuff done. No, really. Well, you will get that, I'm sorry. But that's not the threat. The threat is that we will soon start taking away the privileges. So the privileges of being a registered student organization is you get to do room reservations, you get to hold events on campus, you get to hold fundraisers on campus. You get funded if you're one of the groups that is eligible for funding. We can do your trip approval, your lockers, the use of the name Stockton University. That all comes with making sure that you're doing your paperwork. Now, does that mean on October 1st, I'm going to immediately start canceling your events? No. That means I'm going to start harassing you on October 1st. All right. But if you're coming to student-centered finance and your roster is not complete, you might get sent back. All right. If you're trying to get a room in spring and someone else is trying to get the room, we're probably going to give it to someone else. Okay. It's a lot harder to get the spaces and to get the money and to get everything else. We're going to talk about that. So we really need to give it to the groups that are doing their job. And their job is having 10 students who care about what you do. And that's the most important thing. It's not about the paperwork. It's about making sure that your club is viable. Because we don't want you to graduate and not have your club anymore. So expectations for the e-board members. This is from the student handbook. All officers and student organizations maintain a minimum GPA of 2.5 and be in good academic and judicial standing. What does that mean? Well, you might get harassed for not having 10 members on your roster. You also might get harassed if your GPA is not that high. How do we know who the officers are? You mark them in the Osprey Hub. It's like dominoes. They all fall on top of each other. Again, we're not doing this to be mean. We don't want to take away your club. But you have to be a successful student before you can be a student leader. All right. I'm sure whatever you're doing in your club is great, but graduation is more important. And we want to support that by making sure you're continuing to progress. And now I'll pass you to Parth.
All right. Hi everyone. My name is Parth, coordinator of student development. In order, we want to make sure your organizations do well and are on top of everything. So we have this campus links. It's on homepage of Osprey Hub, and it has all these resources for you. So a lot of times we get questions about certain things, but you can usually find a lot of the you can find a lot of the answers by just going to campus links, including what Matt said earlier, who is my advisor. So we do have changes in advisor, and so that's where you can find it. We also have student leader training videos. You can see up there. Click on it, it will take you to the our YouTube channel. And we have a lot of 10-minute or less videos on a lot of the important topics or a lot of questions, like common questions we get. So it's a really good resource. And this is something that you can actually use when you are transitioning from one e-board to another. And that's something you can use in your training. And then this last thing that I'm going to share is we have a yearbook. It's called Path Yearbook. Starting this past year, we switched to a digital version just to make it more accessible and easy to access, from anywhere. So we did do, like I said, we did already do 1 year digital yearbook, and that is posted on Stockton's website. So if you just go to stockton.edu, go on that page and search yearbook, and it will take you to the yearbook page. And there's a video, and we also have a PDF of all the portraits and photos from, some of your events from last year. So we want you to, in order for your, if you want your organization to be in the yearbook or your events that you post in the yearbook, please submit photos. Like take photos, take videos at your events, because we can't be there for every event or every gathering. So make sure you take photos, videos, and you can submit them. And let's see. There is, so right there, there's a form right there. So all you have to do is just go under campus links, click on it, and you can access it And then you can submit as many times as you want, just don't overdo it. Make sure only one person from your organization is doing it per event. All right, thank you.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Oh, my. Everybody here? Jeff's here. Jeff is here. Hi, everybody. I'm Chrissy Easton, Assistant Director of Student Development. That feels fun to say. I'm super excited to be back in student development and not in housing, but I love it so much. Anyways, but with that, talking about reporting on campus, should something happen at your event or if one of your members needs help, the How Do I Report page, you can type it right into on the Stockton search bar, How Do I Report. It's also in your Go portal. There's stickers all over campus. So if something happens at your event that you're like, should still be seen quite right? We might want to tell somebody about it and get them help. So you can put all of those things on the How Do I Report page. It has every possible reporting type for campus, not that you have to fill out every one of those ones, right? So different types, you can drop it down, gives you a little description about what that specific form is about, and then you can enter it that way. You can also submit a care referral for yourself, should you need some assistance on there as well. It's important to remember too that campus police is literally at the front of campus. Should you have a medical emergency at your event or a safety concern, campus police is who you want to call, right? I'm gonna post about it on YCAP, we're not gonna get on our Instagram story and say, hey, you need help, right? Call campus police, that's their whole job, that's why they're here. So all the reporting types are on there. If you think something is a code of conduct violation, you can always put it in. Better to report it than not report it. You can always come talk to your advisor should you feel like you need to put something in. The other thing that you might have heard about on campus or going around to is called Osprey's Navigate. And it's another tool to help you navigate to graduate. See what they did, right? Navigate to graduate. So it's your one-stop shop. Everything is in there. You can look at it. It has your picture on it. It has your advisor. It has your academic advisor, your school, a whole bunch of information. So you can see all of those things, and if you're on track, and if you need help, you can also schedule appointments with your advisor from here and connect with all of the folks on campus should you need help. There also will be people reaching out to you from this platform, so if you get like a weird text message, you'd be like, what is this? It's probably Osprey's Navigate. So you can schedule through there, you can look up your graduation tag and all that good stuff through there. And now I'm gonna pass it on. Thank you. All right, so I wanted to give some updates on behalf of our campus partners who are not all here today, although some of them are. Quick reminder for event services and campus center operations that our access to 25 Live resets every year. So if you are having trouble accessing 25 Live to submit a room reservation, it's likely because you have not retaken the Blackboard course and the quiz. So make sure all that information is on their website, and we have a link to it too in our Osprey Hub news article. But making sure that you are retaking that Blackboard course, and then Matt will be able to kind of turn on your access and make sure that you are all set for your room reservations. As a reminder, requests for meetings need to be done 3 business days in advance, and then for major events, those should be planned at least 3 weeks out. As we talked a lot about our space limitations on campus this year, if you have something big planned, the sooner that we can get that reserved, the better, so that we can guarantee that you have space to do your program effectively. Our multicultural center has some different hours this year, and so I wanted to put them up here so that you're aware of when the center is open and staffed. There are opportunities to do events after those hours. However, you need to make sure that one of our student development staff members is available to be there too, because otherwise the space is locked. So if you are interested in doing an event in the Multicultural Center after their hours, which are listed here, please talk to your student development advisor so we can help to facilitate that process and make sure that there's enough coverage happening for your event. Our friends over in Chartwells are going to have a new catering director. So some of you may have worked with Adam last year. We have a new catering director, Nicole, who's starting next Friday, 20th. And so in the meantime, still do your catering tracks orders the way that you would normally do them in the past. And if you don't know how to do them, I think covering that in our event planning session later today. If you have any like special requests, anything that you want that's not currently on their menu options, email catering@stockton.edu and they can help to walk you through that process and design a custom menu for you. All Chartwell's orders need 2 weeks notice, so anything on cater tracks needs to be put in 2 weeks in advance. If you are interested in requesting the use of an external food vendor, work with your advisor on that, but those requests have to be in 3 weeks in advance because it requires some additional paperwork on our side. In terms of other updates from the career education and development area, they are really partnering with us this year to do a lot of events that benefit our student leaders. And so one of them is happening on Tuesday. So they're constantly hearing from employers that they want a chance to connect with student leaders. There's employers in like the hospitality industry that are dying to get their hands on the hospitality and tourism club and talk with their group and help to connect them with internships in that field. And so we came up with an idea that on Tuesday, which is the first day of the Get Involved Fair, they are inviting employers to come to campus, to come to the Get Involved Fair. And so don't be shocked if as you're tabling, there's a potential employer that's coming up to you and wanting to collaborate on programs and events that, that you'll be putting on throughout the year. So maybe they can serve as a panel for a program that you're doing, or just come in and talk in one of your club meetings about some opportunities in the industry or what life is like in the industry. So don't be shocked if you see them, engage with them. They're here to help you and your members and really want to get you connected with possible internship and career opportunities out in your post-Stockton world. And speaking of that, Resume Rush is something that Parth has always partnered with the Career Education Development Center on. This happens about a week before the fall career and internship fair, and is an opportunity where you can bring your resume for like a 15-minute consultation with actual employers that will be here on campus that day to review your resume, give you some tips and tricks on how to improve your resume so that you're ready to go for the fall career and internship fair. So those are some big updates that I wanted to highlight from our community partners. We do have Shannon from Production Services here, who has a few extra things to share. So I'm going to turn things over to Shannon.
Thank you, Lauren. Hi, everyone. As Lauren said, I'm Shannon Unks. I'm the Associate Director of Production Services. I'm just here to give you a quick overview of Production Services, what we do, who we are. So we are located in Lower E-Wing. Our number's on the screen, and so is our website, which can also be found on the ITS website if you did a search on the main page. Just a side note, although we are in Lower E-Wing currently, we will be moving to Lower F-Wing due to the library construction somewhere around November, December timeframe. However, we'll make sure we send out an email to let everyone know that we've moved and we're all settled. So basically, Production Services falls under the ITS umbrella, along with Help Desk Services, Information Systems and Business Intelligence, Information Systems and Security, and Infrastructure and Communications. Our department provides the audio and visual tech support for all events here on the main campus, also in Atlantic City at that campus, and some of the other satellite campuses like Kramer Hall in Hamilton and Manahawkin. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you a general idea of how many events we cover within a fiscal year. This graph demonstrates fiscal year 2024. So the blue line in the graph indicates our total event number as far as what we've supported. And then the orange line indicates student club supported events. Below the graph, I have a table that basically breaks it down month by month with total number of events again, and then also student club events that we supported. So for 2024, our total number of events was 1,399. And then 255 of those events were student club events. And I thought I'd add some snapshots of kind of like behind the scenes of some of the venues that we covered, because some of these are larger scale events. You can see the event room, we handle that area, the sports center, and also Fannie Lou Hamer room, some of the meeting rooms, and also the Board of Trustees room, and of course, this space here, which is a great space. On this next slide, I just added a few snapshots of some of the student club events that we've covered. Battle of the Bands, the Woodstockton concert artist reveal, which was a big deal, esports events, Weeks of Welcome, and so forth. So we work closely with event services, plan management, and Chartwells to make sure that you will all have what you need for a successful event. On this slide, as you work throughout the semester with event services and your advisors to set up your events, I will be sending an additional email and CCing your advisor. In this email, basically, it's just a secondary confirmation of your tech needs that you're gonna need for your event. It's a simple list of questions, yes or no. And so please make sure you reply back to me so that we can make sure you have everything that you need. After you have your successful event, I will do a follow-up email, and this is something new that I'm trying this year. It's a Qualtrics survey, basically, that's going to ask you 4 quick questions of how your support was handled. So I know you have a lot going on with classes and outside events, but if you could just take a quick second and just answer the 4 questions and send it back, it's greatly appreciated. That way, we can ensure that we continue to provide you the great support that you're going to require. Oh yeah, that's where I am. I have notes. I'm not normally in the front of the room. I'm normally in the back behind the scenes. So I have a cheat sheet, so excuse me. So to wrap up, I thought it would be fun for you to meet our team members. I would like to have had that happen in person, but because they all have different shifts, we have morning folks, mid-afternoon folks, and then later in the evening folks. We created a short video that's going to help put the name to a face and a face to the name. It will be plugged in for your event, don't worry. Thank you. So that's us. Again, our locations on the screen, number and email. Have a great semester and we look forward to working with you.
All the Tarantino fans in the room are like, I know I was. So, all right, so Jeff again, back again, I'm gonna tell you about a few more important things, not more important, a few more, I think, important things. We have some very cool, those of you who don't know me, you know, I'm out there at all the protests, demonstrations as part of the DART team. I'm always talking about the First Amendment things, and you might have heard, but it's an election year. So I know a lot of the organizations are going to be doing voter registration and absentee ballot things. There was a great email sent out to, I think, just about every student here at the university. I'm going to re-forward it to everybody in the Osprey Hub who's an officer. And it's from the Political Engagement Project. And they're up top there. This is a great website. I'm just going to click it real quick. I know that's like terrible to do when you're doing in the middle of a PowerPoint. But the Political Engagement Project at Stockton has all the resources you need. If you're doing a voter registration drive, or you want to find out what day absentee ballots are due, or how to submit them, or where they have to go, they have all the resources, and they have it here for all of the student leaders. They have flyers for you, they have QR codes for you and everything. So if you didn't see that email, look for it. Monday, I'm not gonna do it today, I'll do it Monday. But their website is really set up great to tell you everything you need to know if you're doing any political engagement or voter registration stuff. And now we'll go back to the PowerPoint. Look at that, right back to it. It's like I know what I'm doing. So two other really great events that are coming up. There's a community conversation coming up with the New Jersey Attorney General, New Jersey Civil Rights Division, and Department of Education. They're going to be talking about bias, intimidation, and hate crimes. If you're interested in learning more about forms of discrimination or free speech and how this all fits in, please check that out. This is the first preceptor day, so you probably don't have class. And then on the second preceptor day, how many of you out there are lit majors, do a lot of writing? So PEN America is one of the most important academic freedom organizations for authors and writers, including like making sure that academic freedom for all the faculty members who write their papers and things. So they're coming to campus and they're going to do a academic freedom colloquium with our students. So they did one for the faculty last year and it went over great. And now they're going to do it to basically teach you how to protect your writings to make sure that you get your academic freedoms in the classroom. So if you have any interest in those, emails will be coming soon inviting you. Make sure you know, oh, that's something Jeff talked about. So I'm also going to talk about, and this is kind of connected to freedoms and academic freedoms and things, the money. Where does the money come from? All of the money that the Student Senate is giving out and all the things that all of the clubs are doing are all funded by the students. And this is why it is a free speech and academic freedom issue, because all of you put in the money. So that's why it's okay for us to fund all the ideas and all the fun things that you want to do. So organizations that are funded, obviously fraternities and sororities being private organizations, can't get the money because the number one rule to getting money from the activities fee is to be open for all students. So this is how all the money comes from. Every school, I want to push the laser. Now I get to the backspace. Hold on a second. There we go. Laser. Every student pays the activities fee. In your bill, if you pay the bill, you can see the fees. It gets used to fund the activities and a few administrative line items. FY25, the amount of money that all of you put into the activities fee is $1.085 million. I want that to sink in. 878,000 of it went to the clubs and organizations as part of their budgets. 102,000 of it went to the cultural theme months, major programs like University Weekend, the student faculty staff dinner, all of these other things that the Student Senate has decided, including the food assistance program. So if you didn't know, Student Senate funds or your fees fund a portion of the student assistance program. So there is $109,000 left for supplemental funding. So if you ever hear, oh, we'll just go get more money, it's less than 10% that is left every year. And there's all kinds of rules that the Student Senate has, and if you want to come to my sessions and learn all about that, please do. But the most important thing is every student should have access to this money. Every student put into the money, and every student should have access. Which means anybody can have a club. If there's a club around here that you don't have, that you're like, Jeff, I wish we had a club started. Because that idea has just as much value as everyone else. And you can be funded if you're open to everyone. What does that mean? You don't need to be an accounting major to be in the accounting club. You don't need to be a Catholic to be in Catholic campus. All right. Everyone should vote on how the money is used. That's why all of you can run for Senate. That's why Where are the Senate people in the room? Who picks the concert? The students, right? That's why, thank you, just be perfectly quiet, Alex, don't try and add anything to the presentation. So anyway, that's why you all have to vote on the concert artists, all right? You have to get involved. So, what does all this mean? It means that there is a pie full of money, and I love that it is a pie and a pie chart. And it is shared. The more you get in your slice, the less other people get. Last year, 33 new groups were started. Senate negotiates with the university, and every year for the last 9 years, they have gotten a 5% increase. In that same time frame, 5 years, the student population has fallen 12%. Math majors in the room, you know that that is an unsustainable arc. Student Senate, Caden couldn't be here today, he's got a family thing, but he'll tell you that he is gonna go to the university, he's gonna negotiate for the most amount of money possible for the next 3 years. But the truth of the matter is, the way that the student activity and the student passions are growing on campus, not everyone is gonna be able to continue getting the funding that they're getting. So, what can you do to economize? If you had to basically not get more money next year, or maybe take a little bit less, or do more events with the same amount of money, how could you do that? All right? What can you do that's cheaper? And it's not go to notes, my staff. This right here, this is the pie chart of the $109,000 in the supplemental account. These chunks right here is what is already requested. 20% of that budget has already been requested. So just know that it's a finite resource. And the best thing you can do is to make sure that you're spending it the best way possible, for the benefit of the most students possible. Now, I know this is, I already said this is a First Amendment issue, so let me clear up some things. The Student Senate does not use any content based in the decision. They are not picking their favorite events. They are not choosing the fun set because they thought the music was good. They're not picking this event to fund because they think that's a cool place to go or a cool thing to do. They're picking it based on how many students are going. Has this group done all of its information? Is this a economized way to deliver a good product to the students? I don't know how to say that in a better way. But basically, that's why no idea is better than someone else's. But they have to be able to say to the person that shows up after you, if they're out of money, why they gave you all the money. So they're gonna ask questions like, are these expenses necessary? You know, did we buy the front row tickets or did we buy the middle of the stage? You know, are the students paying a ticket price? Has this club done any fundraising to try and offset the costs? How many students are expected to attend? All right, if we fund a trip that 10 students go and it costs a lot of money, but we go somewhere closer and we get to send 30 students, which one is a better use of the student activities? That's how you should be thinking about planning your events. So when you're doing funding requests, and there's a whole session on this, but I want everyone to know the timelines, because the timelines are really important. It takes us we are in the state of New Jersey, in case you didn't know that. We are a state institution. The amount of rules and laws that we have to do to make sure that our purchases go through is huge. So if you're going to the finance committee, just know that the finance committee meets the first 3 Tuesdays. All right, if you want to go to the finance committee, you need to have that finance request to your advisor, approved by your advisor by Thursday close of business. Well, Thursday at noon, that would be even better. Because every Friday morning is when we decide who gets to go to finance or not. Thursday at noon is great because then they can call you and fix stuff. So approved by your student advisor by Thursday. If your request is under $1,500, you just have to go to one meeting. If your request is over $1,500, you have to go to the finance committee and then to the full Senate. Full Senate only meets on the fourth Tuesday of every month. So if you have an idea right now and you put it in and it is $1,501, it is already Friday. That means you won't be able to hold that event until November. Because you've already missed September's meetings. You're probably going to go to October meetings. All right? This is the progression. You have to think ahead. This also is for the timeline. We're going to do timeline in a couple of slides up. Sorry. I transitioned ahead. Purchase requests have to be submitted 3 weeks in advance. So this is, you already have the money, you're just trying to spend it. It takes us sometimes 2 weeks to get that contract process. All right? We cannot pay for things after the fact. If you have a DJ at last night's event and you're coming in today with their invoice, we're gonna tell you too bad, we cannot pay them. All right? We cannot pay anything after the fact. We cannot do reimbursements that we have not already approved. All right? What kind of reimbursements are approved? Hey, we're going to Philly, we're going to this museum. We don't know where we're gonna park, but we know we're gonna park. Great, I can approve for you to park and pay with your own money and bring back that parking receipt. But that's pre-approved. Don't show up afterwards and say, oh, we decided to stop at a restaurant. We cannot pay for things that we did not pre-approve. So, common mistakes. You guys know I love Osprey Hub, right? I will say Osprey Hub every third word out of my mouth if possible. What is the most annoying thing about Osprey Hub? Payee. In every single purchase request, it asks for the payee information. Does anybody know what payee is? The person you're paying, thank God, what a terrible word. Are there any accounting majors in the room? That is a dumb word. Go ask your faculty member. Why the hell are we still called payee? Payee is the person that you're trying to pay. Please make sure when you're filling out your purchase request, you put that in. Every event, when we send it to purchasing, they say, prove this event happened. And we say, we guarantee it happened, we were there. What they want to see is that there was an Osprey Hub for that event. So please make sure if you're paying for something, I mean, you should have an Osprey Hub event for every event you have on campus, whether you're paying or not. But you need to have that flyer uploaded and that information uploaded for everything. Down here, we have attached your documentation. If we're paying for something, you have to show us that's really what it costs. Whether that's an email from the DJ that says, I can play that date and this is how much it costs, or an invoice, or you went to Amazon and you built a cart. All of that is called backup. It's proof that what you're going to buy costs that much. Please make sure you're loading backup. A lot of times people said, Jeff, I loaded one, but I have 2 different things I need to load. Cool. I added a whole nother slot there. So you can load and load and load whatever you need. If we're writing someone a check, like a DJ or something like that, we're gonna need their W-9. W-9 is tax information, because if we're paying them, it's income tax. Does that make sense? Now, I say this here to everybody, because I know not everybody is gonna go to my finance section. But if you're like, holy cow, I have no idea what the hell he's saying, please go to my finance room. It's like the second slide. I do it twice. So that way you can go to something else and then come to my finance. So I think Lauren's up next. Oh, is this me or you? It doesn't matter. Lauren has half my brain anyways.
All right, so one of our most commonly asked questions is, who can I use to buy t-shirts? Who can I use to buy pens and highlighters or whatever other giveaways you would like to give? You can use whichever vendors you'd like. However, these are some of the commonly used vendors that we tend to use and are easy to work with because they already know that we are a tax exempt institution. They know our purchase order process. A lot of these places we already have accounts with, and so these are really easy vendors to use. WB Mason is sometimes who we have to use for office supplies. We can use Amazon as well if it's cheaper, but if WB Mason turns out to be cheaper, like we're obligated to use them since we have a contract with them. Everybody else, we're just throwing out some suggestions in terms of like screen printing, promotions and unicorns, quality concepts. There's lots of vendors that you can use, but if you just wanted a few to get started with, these are ones that we work with pretty frequently. So I think that that is the end of most of our content that we wanted to present, but we also wanted to highlight some of the upcoming events that are going on. And these were scrolling as you came in, but I know some of you came in a little bit late. And so we just kind of wanted to go through, next week is a really big week. We have Meet the Greeks on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday is the Get Involved Fair. Registration has already closed. What I will say is that this year space is very tight. And so we don't have the CD atrium anymore, so that's going to look and feel different. Usually we would squeeze about 50 clubs in the CD atrium. We are setting up quite a few tables in the campus center grand hallway and also in the coffee house to kind of make up for those spaces. And so we were able to get almost all of our tables back, but we're still trying to make the puzzle work thanks to Jules. I think she already went to go set up for another session, but she's been working hard on doing the placements. We will send all the placements out on Monday. So if you're like, wow, where am I going to be? Where's our club going to be placed? We didn't forget about you. Nobody knows yet. I don't even know yet. But we will be sending that out on Monday. So keep your eye open on your email by Monday afternoon.
What about all those off-campus partners in the campus center?
So student organizations get priority. This is the Get Involved Fair is geared towards our student clubs and organizations. And so you all get first priority for table. If there's an office that has a leadership or involvement opportunity, we'll place them next. So thinking like RAs, talents, and mission ambassadors, things like that. If it's an office that's simply trying to show up to hand out information about their services, they might not get a table. So you all get first priority. We are committed to still making sure that this involvement fair is for you and an opportunity for you all to recruit new members. But our off-campus partners will not have tables and not all of our offices will have tables this year, unfortunately. And next year, this project is going to be like a 2-year long renovation project. Launching into service. This is Jeff's child.
Sorry, everyone. I feel like weird. Honestly, back and forth. So, for those of you who remember, we used to do a program called New Student Service Day. New Student Service Day was held on the first Saturday every semester, and people stopped coming to it, so we stopped doing it. But service is still really important, so we're doing this event, and we are pushing this really hard to the new students, both transfer and freshmen. All right, and it's called Launching into Service. If you are a service organization, you probably got an email about this. What we want you to do is, this is the weekend, this is next weekend. This is the weekend after Get Involved Fair. If you're a service organization, plan a service event that weekend. And invite all of the new students to come meet you at the Launching into Service. If you have a service event on that weekend, and you come out to this, we're going to introduce you to all the new students, and then it's going to be here on Friday, and then we're going to go out there and we're going to have some desserts, and they're going to meet you and sign up for your service events. Because the best way to get a new student to join your service organization is to do service with them. So we're going to talk a little bit about how important it is to do service, and then we're going to funnel them directly to your activities. All right, if anyone needs assistance for activities out there, you need a little seed money maybe, like, hey Jeff, can you buy me some trash bags for my cleanup? Yes, we can do that through our office, but we need to know like ASAP. So see me tonight if you want to be in the Launching the Service event and maybe you need a little help. All right, thank you, and I'll turn back over.
All right. President Joe's Ice Cream Social is happening again this year. So if you'd like to go and have a sweet treat, not next week, the week after that, that'll be happening on September 25th in the DF Plaza. We have our leadership lunch series happening again. That kicks off September 26th. And this is a great way to continue your leadership and development as a student leader. Every workshop, we talk about a different type of leadership. We feed you. It's pretty fun. We have our Story Space series happening again this year. We have some fast giveaways, the Fostering Athletic Spirit team. And so we try to really support our athletic teams here on campus and have some really fun giveaways lined up this year. So those are the dates that we will be especially, trying to cheer on our Ospreys and support our Stockton athletic teams. We have our movie nights happening. Last year, we had some different movies in Galloway and Atlantic City. This year, we're going to be showing the same movies in both locations. And so just kind of be mindful that if there's a movie that you really wanted to see that's on the Galloway campus, but you live in Atlantic City, know that it's coming there right after. So this is the movie lineup for the fall. They'll be happening in Galloway first, and then they're going to be happening in Atlantic City. So the students who are in Atlantic City will be getting the same type of experience as here on Galloway. Resume Rush, we kind of already talked about that, but that is a great way to prep for the fall career and internship fair. So take advantage of that, take advantage of the free help that we are giving you to set you up for success for that event. And then University Weekend. So University Weekend is October 17th through 20th. And we're really excited for this weekend and to have you all involved in that weekend. So a few different ways to get involved and a few changes for this year. So we're doing the Greek Yard Show during University Weekend. So that will happen the Friday of University Weekend outside in the parking lot. We're really excited about that. There's going to be a stage set up and everything. Saturday is going to be our parade, which the parade registration will be available on Osprey Hub starting early next week because I didn't have time to do it today, sorry. But our student senate was in charge of selecting the theme this year. And so our theme for the parade is going to be a decade of growth and change because this marks the 10th year of University Weekend. And so figuring out how you're going to tell the story of how your organization has grown and changed and developed over the years. And it's open to interpretation for you. We also have opportunities for you all to host activities during the street fair, which happens on that Saturday, the 19th. We always look to kind of offer free activities for our guests who are coming in. So if you wanted to set up an activity at your table, if you wanted to sign up to do a performance, we're going to keep that stage from the Greek Yard Show and still have it out during the street fair. And so that is up and running on Osprey Hub. So you can sign up for a table or to perform. And then we have lots of other events happening throughout the weekend too. We have the full schedule up on stockton.edu/university weekends to make sure that you check that out and try to find ways for your organization to get involved. Hispanic Heritage Month kicked off today. Congratulations to all the organizations who were involved. We had an excellent flag raising and opening reception over outside of the Multicultural Center. And we're really looking forward to all of the events that they have planned for this next month. And so stockton.edu/HHM is where you can go to see all the different events that are going on. LGBTQ History Month is coming up in just a few more weeks. And I just want to remind everybody that all of your clubs can get involved with these initiatives. We would love to have your events on the calendar. There's extra money available through like the planning committee, and anybody can sit on those planning committees. Don't feel like it only is, the one or two organizations that have this as their main focus. Anybody could be a part of our Cultural Heritage Month planning meetings. And so we definitely want to get your organization involved. Oh yeah.
We hit that one.
Oh, I was going to say other cultural theme months that are happening this year. The two obviously that I just highlighted are for the fall semester, and then in the spring semester we have Black History Month, Women's History Month, and Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage celebration. We kind of stretch that one between April and May because nationally it's celebrated in May, but you're all not here in May, so we start celebrating in April.
Well, I want to throw out a challenge here. Some of the greatest cultural celebration month events come from the organizations that we don't expect. When Pre-Law Society does a Black History Month program about Sandra Day O'Connor or whatever, that's where you can really reach out to people that you don't usually meet. So stretch yourself If you're not a natural partner for a history month, find a way to connect it to your mission. Mission-based programming is the best kind of programming, and it's best when you can talk about we all have intersectionalities, right? We're not just one thing. Find the thing that connects to that month, come on out and celebrate.
All right, so that leads us to the end of our opening session. We did want to give you a little bit of a break before we start our next session so that you have time to use the restroom, walk to your sessions. Make sure again that you're dividing and conquering between your e-board members so that you make the most of your experience. Thank you.
And dreams don't move, you're still in this room.